What if everything you've ever experienced, every joy, every struggle, every coincidence, wasn't just happening to you, but through you? The first Hermetic principle, mentalism, states, all is mind, the universe is mental. This isn't just a poetic metaphor. It's a radical, mystical declaration about the true nature of reality. According to this principle, the entire universe, from galaxies to grains of sand, from emotions to energy, arises from a single, infinite conscious intelligence, the All. Not a god in the clouds, not a being separate from creation, but a boundless universal mind in which all things exist. In other words, the universe isn't in space. The universe is in consciousness. And that consciousness is mind. Think about a dream. While you sleep, your mind conjures people, landscapes, conversations. All of it feels real while you're in it. Yet it's all happening within you. Mentalism teaches that waking life is much the same, an incredibly vivid, consistent, and shared dream within the mind of the All. But it doesn't stop there. Just as the universal mind generates all of reality, your own mind, as a spark of that greater mind, participates in creation. Your beliefs, emotions, expectations, and inner narratives are not passive. They are causal forces, silently shaping how you interpret reality, what you attract, and what you allow. This is not a modern idea. Ancient mystics, yogis, alchemists, and philosophers all hinted at this. In Hinduism, the universe is called Maya, the divine illusion, a play of mind. In Buddhism, the mind is the source of all phenomena. In Kabbalah, the world of forms descends from mental and spiritual archetypes. Even modern science has begun to echo this idea. Quantum physicists discovered that particles behave differently when observed, suggesting that consciousness isn't just witnessing reality. It's participating in it. Max Planck, the father of quantum theory, once said, "I regard consciousness as fundamental. I regard matter as derivative from consciousness." If the universe is mental, then what we call reality is not a fixed external world, but a fluid, malleable field of experience, shaped by the vibration of our awareness. This is why mentalism is the first law, because it underlies and makes possible all the others. Before you can understand rhythm, polarity, cause, and effect, you must first understand that everything exists within the mind. Your mind, the collective mind, the divine mind. This principle invites us to go beyond victimhood, beyond randomness, beyond the illusion that life is simply happening to us. Instead, it whispers something powerful. You are not merely a character in the dream. You are also, in part, the dreamer. Once we accept that all is mind, a profound question emerges. Can we consciously shape the mind's manifestations? Hermeticism says yes, and names this process mental transmutation. Transmutation means to change the nature, the vibration, the essence of something. And if the universe is mental, then to transmute our thoughts is to transmute our reality. This is not wishful thinking or magical fantasy. It's the ancient art of inner alchemy, turning fear into clarity, turning limitation into vision, and turning old mental patterns into new creative blueprints. But here's the paradox. Most of us are creating unconsciously. We're not shaping reality. We're reacting to it. We're not observing our thoughts. We're being run by them. The average person thinks over 60,000 thoughts a day. Most of them are repetitive. Most of them are rooted in the past. And most of them go completely unnoticed. These unnoticed patterns form our internal narrative, the subtle story that tells us who we are, what's possible, and what we expect from life. And here's the catch. Your internal narrative becomes your filter for external experience. You don't see reality as it is. You see it as you are. Let's make it practical. Two people walk into the same room. One feels inspired, the other feels anxious. Same room, same environment, different minds. One person sees an opportunity and takes a leap. Another sees a threat and retreats. The event is neutral. The interpretation is not. This is the power of the principle of mentalism in action. Your reality isn't just out there, it's constantly shaped by what's happening in here. Mentalism teaches us to treat life as a mirror, not a script. If something disturbs you outside, don't immediately try to fix the outside. Instead, pause and look inward. What thought, belief, or expectation could be mirrored in this situation? What fear, desire, or attachment is being reflected back to you? This doesn't mean you are to blame for everything that happens. But it does mean that how you interpret, respond, and carry the moment is a direct projection of your inner state. Let's go deeper. Have you ever noticed that when you're in a state of gratitude, life seems to flow? Synchronicities appear. People are kinder, doors open. But when you're anxious or bitter, it feels like the world is against you, as if life is reflecting your inner storm. This is mentalism. And if you want to work with this principle, the first practice is awareness. Begin to observe your thoughts, not just believe them. Notice your emotional reactions. Catch the automatic narratives. Ask yourself, is this thought creative or reactive? When you catch a limiting thought, like, I'm not good enough, or I always fail, don't just shove it away. Transmute it. How? Through attention, imagination, and repetition. You might say, I see this belief. I honor where it came from, but I choose a new thought now. I am learning. I am growing. I am more than this old pattern. And then, visualize it. Feel what it would be like if this new thought were true. Not someday, but now. Why? Because emotion is the language of the subconscious. The stronger the feeling, the deeper the imprint. And the deeper the imprint, the more your outer world starts to echo that new internal state. If the mind is the matrix of creation, then attention is its most valuable currency. And in today's world, your attention is under siege. We live in an age where the most powerful corporations on the planet are not selling products. They're selling your attention. Social media, news, entertainment, advertising, they all compete. Not for your money directly, but for your focus. Because where your attention goes, your energy flows. And here lies the hidden danger. If you don't consciously direct your attention, someone else will. And when your attention is hijacked, your power to create is diluted. We scroll for hours, pulled into endless loops of information. We are constantly stimulated, yet deeply disconnected. Notifications buzz, algorithms anticipate our cravings. And we, the creators of our reality, have become passive consumers of mental noise. This is not a random accident of technology. It is a modern manifestation of a very ancient truth. The one who controls the mind, controls the world. Hermeticism warns us, when the mind is fragmented, scattered across countless inputs, it cannot hold the focus required to create. And so, instead of being deliberate authors of our destiny, we become reactors. Always responding, always distracted, always tired. This is why, in Hermetic tradition, the discipline of concentration is sacred. To be able to hold a single thought, to choose what to feel, to remain present even when the world pulls at you. That is inner mastery. Have you ever tried to meditate and found your thoughts racing? Have you noticed how hard it is to do just one thing at a time? This is not a personal flaw. It's a symptom of a systemically scattered mind. You've been trained to multitask, to absorb more than you can process, to feel uncomfortable in stillness. But here's the truth. Most people never learn. Stillness is not the absence of movement. It's the presence of depth, and only in stillness can we contact the part of us that is not reactive but deeply aware. A scattered mind is like a broken mirror. It cannot reflect reality clearly, and it cannot shape it effectively. It reacts in fragments, repeating the past, fearing the future, and, worst of all, it believes that this fragmented state is normal, but ancient wisdom tells us otherwise. In the Hermetic path, the mind is not meant to be a sponge. absorbing every influence it encounters. It is meant to be a lens, focusing the divine light of consciousness into form. So how do we reclaim our mental sovereignty? It begins by returning to what Hermeticists call the silence, the still point within, where the personal mind dissolves and the universal mind is remembered. This isn't about escaping the world. It's about reconnecting to the source from which all creation flows, and the most accessible portal to this reconnection is meditation. When we sit in stillness, we are not doing nothing. We are stepping back from the illusion, from the noise, the conditioning, the endless scripts, and witnessing the mind in its raw form. Each moment of silence is a declaration. I am more than my thoughts. I am the one who sees. I am not the storm. I am the sky. As we cultivate this presence, the scattered mind begins to settle. Thoughts lose their grip. Conditioned reactions fade, and the deeper layers of consciousness begin to rise. This is not about forcing the mind to be silent. It is about becoming so present that the noise dissolves on its own. From this space of stillness, you begin to choose your thoughts rather than being chosen by them. You begin to feel your emotions without being ruled by them. You begin to create your reality, not as a reaction, but as a conscious expression of your essence. If the conscious mind is the artist, the subconscious is the canvas, vast, sensitive, and impressionable. But unlike a normal canvas, this one paints back. It doesn't just receive your thoughts, it projects them into your world. The Hermetic teachings speak of the mind not as a single unified entity, but as a layered field of awareness, and the subconscious mind holds the deepest patterns. These patterns are not random. They are accumulated through repetition, emotion, trauma, and social programming. Most of what you call your life is actually the echo of your subconscious patterns, replaying in different clothes. You may want abundance, but your subconscious believes you must struggle to be worthy. You may desire love, but your subconscious still holds the pain of rejection or betrayal. You may crave freedom, but carry inherited guilt about being fully seen or successful. And here lies a central truth of mentalism. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are at the subconscious level. In Hermetic philosophy, the outer world is a mirror, not always of what you consciously think, but of what you unconsciously believe. Your life circumstances, recurring challenges, emotional triggers, even the people you randomly meet, are all reflections. They show you what lives within you, not to punish you, but to illuminate you. This is not about blame, it's about empowerment. If your outer world is a mirror, then by shifting your inner state, your beliefs, your focus, your emotional signature, you begin to see new reflections. This is where mental transmutation begins. In the Kybalion, we are told, mind as well as metals and elements may be transmuted from state to state, degree to degree, condition to condition. This is mental alchemy, the conscious transformation of thought, emotion, and belief, not by force, but by frequency. Your beliefs are not just ideas. They are energetic patterns that emit a signature. The stronger the emotional charge behind a belief, the more powerfully it radiates and shapes reality. This is why repeating affirmations without feeling doesn't work, because the subconscious only listens to emotion-backed vibration. If you want to transform a limiting belief, you must shift not just the words, but the energy behind them. Here is a 3-step Hermetic practice for transmuting limiting beliefs. Awareness. Catch the belief. Observe the narrative without judgment. Ask, where did this come from? Is this really mine? Discharge. Feel the emotional energy behind the belief fully, without resistance. Let it rise, shake, move. Don't suppress. Witness imprint. Once the emotional charge dissolves, introduce a new belief. Not just with words, but with imagery, breath, and sensation. For example, visualize yourself already living the new belief. Feel the emotion of freedom, joy, or peace. This is imprinting a new pattern on the inner canvas. Over time, the subconscious accepts this new imprint and begins to reflect it externally. Let's bring this to life with real scenarios. You always struggle financially. Underneath, a belief. Money is hard to earn. Begin the practice. Observe this thought. Feel the fear or scarcity behind it. Transmute it with, abundance is natural. I am supported. Visualize waves of golden energy flowing through your life. You attract emotionally unavailable partners. Underneath, a belief. I don't deserve deep love. Practice. Recall a moment where this belief took root. Allow tears, rage, grief, whatever wants to surface. Transmute. I am worthy of safe, sacred love. Feel that warmth in your chest. Breathe into it. Expand it. This is not mental magic. This is mental alignment, directing the power of the universal mind through your personal vessel. And the more consistently you do this, the more your external world must shift to reflect the new frequency. If thought is the blueprint and belief is the foundation, then emotion is the fuel that gives life to creation. The Hermetic Principle of Mentalism teaches us that the universe itself is a mental projection, not cold, sterile thought, but vibrant, animated living thought. And what gives thought its aliveness? Emotion. Emotion is energy in motion. It is what determines the strength and direction of your creative force. A thought without emotion is like a seed without water. It holds potential, but it won't grow. But a thought infused with feeling becomes magnetic. It begins to bend reality around its vibration. Every emotion you feel carries a frequency: anger, guilt, shame. Lower the frequency of your mental field, reinforcing limitation and contraction. Joy, gratitude, love. Elevate it, expanding your field into openness and possibility. And here lies the secret. The universe doesn't respond to your words. It responds to your vibration. This is why someone can say, I'm abundant 100 times and see no change. But when they genuinely feel grateful for what they already have, the universe begins to mirror more abundance. The emotional signature of your thoughts is what the subconscious responds to, and since the subconscious is the link between your personal mind and the universal mind, that's where creation begins. Now we must explore the second great tool of mental creation: imagination. In Hermetic philosophy, imagination is not fantasy. It is creative vision. It is the eye of the soul, the ability to see into the unseen and bring it forth into the manifest. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. Albert Einstein. When you imagine vividly, not just intellectually but emotionally and sensorially, you are speaking the native language of the subconscious. You're sending instructions into the field of mind, and the universe begins to align itself around that message. Visualization is not just seeing, it is embodying the future as if it is already real. This is how spiritual teachers across traditions describe their miracles, not as violations of nature, but as mastery over the mental blueprint of reality. Underlying the principle of mentalism is another Hermetic law, the law of vibration. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. Thoughts are vibrations. Emotions are vibrations. Your entire being, your mood, your belief system, your intentions, is a vibrating field. The law states, like attracts like. When your mental field is vibrating in coherence with what you desire, you magnetize that frequency into your experience. But If you are visualizing abundance while secretly vibrating in scarcity or fear, there is incoherence, and the universe responds to the dominant signal. You cannot lie to the field. You can only align with it. This is why the inner work is not optional. It is the true work, the purification of your vibration through conscious thought, emotional mastery, and clarity of desire. To become a master of mentalism, you must unify 3 centers of power: mind, head, clear thought, focused intention, heart, emotion, elevated feeling, alignment with truth, will, action and presence, embodied decision and commitment. When these 3 align, your vibration becomes coherent, and coherence is the signal the universe hears most loudly. A coherent being is like a tuning fork. It vibrates clearly, and everything around it begins to harmonize. This is why inner alignment is more powerful than effort or force. When your vibration is clean, clear, and aligned, manifestation becomes inevitable. Here is a daily practice drawn from Hermetic wisdom and modern neuroscience to apply the principle of mentalism. Enter stillness. Sit quietly. Breathe. Let the mind slow down. Choose a focus. Select a clear intention, a vision, a desire. Be specific, not about how, but what. Visualize vividly, see it in your mind's eye, in detail. Use all your senses. Where are you? What are you doing? Who's with you? Feel it fully. This is the key. Evoke the emotion of already having it. Gratitude, joy, relief. Let that feeling expand through your body like light. Anchor it with breath. Inhale deeply and hold the feeling. Exhale and radiate it outward. Feel yourself vibrating at this new frequency. Release and trust detach from the outcome. You've sent the message. Now walk as if it's already unfolding. This is not daydreaming. This is deliberate creation. It is the application of the first Hermetic Law, the all is mind, at its most profound level. You are not a beggar asking the universe for favors. You are a node of the universal mind, shaping reality with every thought, emotion, and choice. The question is not if you're creating, but how consciously you're doing it. The principle of mentalism doesn't simply offer a metaphysical idea, it offers a map back to the divine source. To say, the all is mind, is not just to say that reality is mental, it is to say that everything you see, feel, and experience is made of the same sacred substance as you. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the ocean in a drop. This ancient Hermetic truth, echoed by mystics from Rumi to Yogananda, invites us into the ultimate spiritual remembrance, that separation is an illusion, and that each fragment of consciousness is a holographic piece of the whole, containing within it all the intelligence, power, and potential of the universe itself. If the universe is mental, and the universal mind is the source of all creation, then you, and as a self-aware being, are not separate from that source. You are a self-reflecting unit of the divine, like a ray of sunlight that still carries the full quality of the sun. The all is not somewhere out there. It is experiencing itself through you. This is the core of what Hermeticism teaches, that spiritual awakening is not about becoming divine, but remembering that you always were. Everything you see in your outer world is a reflection of your inner relationship with this truth. When you believe in limitation, life shows you boundaries. When you remember you are the all, life opens in miraculous ways. This is not philosophy. It is direct experience. So why don't we always feel this connection? Because the mind, our most powerful tool, has also become our greatest veil. We identify with the small self, the ego, the story, the body, and forget our nature as consciousness itself. Hermeticism calls this the illusion of duality. It's the idea that we are separate from others, from nature, from the divine, when in truth we are expressions of one unified field. This illusion is necessary for experience, just like a dream seems real until you wake up. But spiritual awakening is precisely that, a return to awareness, that everything is made of mind and that the mind is divine. In Hermetic thought, the mind is not lower than spirit. It is the bridge between spirit and matter. It is through mind that spirit creates form, form returns to source, the invisible becomes visible. Mind is the intermediary, the sacred link between the seen and the unseen. This is why mastering your own mind is the most spiritual act there is. It's not about escaping the world. It's about transfiguring it through awareness. True mental alchemy begins when you turn the power of thought inward and begin the process of self-inquiry. The ancient maxim, "Know thyself," is not just good advice. It is the key to divine realization. When you observe your own thoughts, when you question your own stories, when you dissolve identification with the ego, you begin to experience a higher awareness, one that watches all, judges nothing, and simply is. That awareness is not yours. It is you. It is the universal mind remembering itself in human form. The moment you become aware of your awareness, you have stepped beyond the personal mind and touched the eternal. In the modern world, we are drowning in information, but starved of presence. We believe that by thinking more, doing more, and consuming more, we will somehow reach fulfillment. But Hermeticism offers a different path. To return to the universal mind, you must first become present to the one that is thinking. This is the silent watcher, the observer of all thought. Every time you pause, breathe, become aware. You are stepping out of the illusion and into the still point of creation. From that stillness, you no longer create from lack or fear. You create from alignment, wisdom, and love. When you begin to live with the awareness that you are the mind, that reality is your mirror, you become radically empowered, no longer a victim, no longer a seeker, but a creator, an explorer, a mystic walking between worlds. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin asking, "What is this showing me about my own mind?" This shift in orientation transforms everything. Problems become portals, triggers become teachers. Life becomes a sacred dance with your own reflection. The final gift of the principle of mentalism is this: there is only one mind, and everything is it, including you. When you realize this, not as an idea but as a felt reality, your suffering begins to dissolve. Why? Because if everything is the one mind, then nothing is truly against you. Even the chaos has purpose. Even the darkness holds light. You begin to walk through life with serenity, courage, and compassion, because you know that no matter what appears, you are never separate from the source. And this is where the real Hermetic journey begins. So now you know, you are not just a thinker of thoughts. You are a weaver of worlds. Your mind is not a passive receiver. It's a divine projector. And every belief, every feeling, every silent intention echoes into the field. If everything is mind, then every moment is creation. The question is no longer if you're creating, it's, are you creating consciously? If this awakened something in you, even just a spark, then you're ready for the next step. In the next video, we'll explore the second Hermetic principle, the principle of correspondence. As above, so below. A key to understanding the mirrored nature of reality and how to read the symbols the universe is showing you. So don't stop here. Keep walking this path of ancient wisdom and modern awakening. Click below to continue the journey. And if you haven't already, subscribe and activate the bell. So, you don't miss what's coming next, because this isn't just a series, it's a remembrance, and you're not watching by accident. You were called to this. Until next time, stay curious, stay awake, and never forget. The universe is mental, and so are its miracles.